Hey, what's going on, you guys? Reuniting here, back with another video. Um, I'm in my last days here. I'm in my penthouse that I got for Airbnb the first month here, and just have a couple more days. Then I am moving to San Lorenzo. San Lorenzo is a beautiful city, crossroad city, I call it, with a beautiful market, church, ciclovia for like a green walking area out there. It's a beautiful town, all right, in the Asunción metro area. So I'll be doing that tomorrow. I get my keys. But anyways, this isn't about updates. I just released a video about updates to my life that covered a month, and then you can go back and watch my first 2 weeks here and my first couple days here as well. As long as I got another video in there as well, where I explore the markets of San Lorenzo. But that's not what this video is about. This video is going to be about my story. Just before I get started, I just want to give you a quick bird's eye view of where I'm at. This is PARQUE PINAR. Me and my buddy, we walked the grounds here. If you want to check out that video, my buddy being Che, my dog. So this is the area we check out down here. There's a gym down there. There's a exclusive area for Condo community. It's very pretty down here. So this is the area. I'll probably hold my phone and then put it back here, or vice versa. Well, I'll put it back here for now. Okay. So, part one. And I'm sorry for you guys who kind of know this. I give a detailed outline of my timeline of my life about when I met my family here. I'm gonna give you a short breakdown of that right now. So I'm Reuniting. I started this channel 6 months ago. It's kind of irrelevant right now, but anyways, so I met my biological family here 12 years ago in 2012. Okay, and I've been coming essentially every single year after that. So I've gotten to know my culture here in Paraguay, my family, the language, how to navigate society, how to date, how to navigate all that stuff. So I guess you could kind of call me a seasoned veteran in traveling, and not around the world, just here though, just here. That's why my channel is pretty much exclusively about Paraguay for now. I might get out there more in the world later. But this whole channel is about teaching you guys about the country, the cost of living here, why it's important to think about moving, why it's urgent if you want to get residency. I'll be going through the process in later videos here as well. How to get your dog here, all the logistical stuff I'm gonna cover eventually. All right, this stuff just still takes time and whatnot. So this video about my adoption story, when I met my biological family. So we're gonna back up all the way till when I was a baby, and then I'll get into when I first came down here in 2012, got off the plane and started meeting everybody. So the first part of this is when I was a baby, and I give a better detailed timeline. Go check out my very first video on my channel. It's laid out with pictures. I don't think I'm going to be putting pictures in this one. When I was a baby, I was essentially dropped off by my birth mother. Well, after giving birth, she pretty much left me in the hospital, right? And Fernando de la Mora. Now, Fernando de la Mora is a very nice city right outside of Asunción. It used to just be your average working town back 33 years ago. That's when I was born. Right? So I was born there. I was essentially taken care of by nuns and volunteer girls who would come tied to the Catholic Church, who would take care of us babies for the first 2 years of my life. And then I was adopted by my family in the States, and then I've lived with them ever since. Grew up with them there, became American. I'm American. It's very obvious, you can tell. And so the process is to meet your biological family. And actually, I had expressed interest to my parents about doing this. I want to say when I was like 16 or 17 years old, right? And then they told me, okay, well, All right, so this is the process, and they laid it out to me. Is I have to write a letter to my biological birth mother, right? Because I don't know if anybody else exists. This is not a. It wasn't an open adoption, but it wasn't a closed adoption either. It was just like I don't know what the term would be, but it wasn't either, right? So I had, and plus it wouldn't have mattered anyway because I was already 18 when I actually did the search. But I was gonna start it at 16 or 17. But what they do is they make you write a letter to your birth mother, right? So I started writing that letter like several times. I threw it out like several fucking times because I didn't know what the fuck to say. What are you supposed to say? You know what I mean? Like, I'm a kid. I love you. Like, I don't know your situation. I don't know anything about anything. Are you even alive? Like, you know what I mean? So eventually, I got my shit together. I was third year in college at that point. And I was like, I have to do it now. Something in my soul was just like, look, man, you have to do this now. You're only getting older. It's gonna be harder if you start establishing yourself in the States. You're not gonna do this shit later. I know myself. So I'm like, all right, let's do it now. So anyway, so you have to hire a there's private investigators down here, or there's lawyers you can hire. But we hired a social worker who has done this kind of work in the past. I don't even know her name, and this was 12 years ago, so I don't even think I could give you that info. I actually tried to look it up recently just because I was curious, but I don't know if this particular person is in business anymore. But there are other people that can help you. I would just have to, if you're asking me for that, I would just have to take my time to get back to you on that. I don't know if there's the same contacts anymore. Okay, so I finally wrote the letter at 20 years old, got the social worker hired. I want to say paid like $1,000-$2,000 or something like that. My parents helped me with that. I had no money. I was a broke ass college kid. You know what I mean? So they helped me do that. And then so a few months later pops up this report that, hey, not only is your birth mother alive, but you have a sister too, and you have a niece and nephew, her kids. You also have a brother, right? A brother who's a year and a day older than me. So, and he didn't have a kid yet, but you know, he was around. He was doing DJ stuff. My sister had a hair salon. I found out in this report. I found out my mother was alive, right? And none of us kids, please excuse the background noise, or the traffic and all that. But none of us kids, even in Paraguay, had grown up by my birth mothers. Pretty much she did to me with to all of us kids in some fashion or another, right? I also found out we have another younger brother, though I've never met, who I would have liked to, but there's just no way I can get that information out of my mother, biological mother here, who's willing to give that up to me so we can all be united as hermanos, as siblings, right? And later I found out, I want to say the same year, or maybe it was my second trip. I don't remember. But later I found out that we actually have another younger biological sister as well. Now, no, it was my first trip. I remember. And this is getting us to lead to my first time meeting my family. Okay. So I immediately started getting in contact with my brother and my sister, right? This is 2012. Facebook is just starting to people around the world are starting to use it. Not everybody's on smartphones yet, but people have access, maybe they have an old laptop or something. Anyways, so we were in contact that way. She ends up inviting me, and then the next year when I turned, pretty much right after I turned 21, that's my first trip down here. All right. And then so that trip would have been in around this time in June, July-ish. It's gonna rain here. I might have to go outside. I don't care. But yeah, that trip was around this time. So Paraguay's winter, so I didn't come in dead of heat, which is really nice. And then from there on out, once I stayed in contact with her throughout the 9 months between the time I found out they were well to the time that I came down here. There's a few things I asked, etc. We stayed in contact, well in contact. I was already speaking enough Spanish to be able to do this all online kind of stuff. We had a few phone calls. My Spanish didn't really get that good until I honestly started coming down here and threw myself in the fire. Then years and years and years of practice, you know what I mean? Coming down here with fam, and not having nobody else to speak English with. Okay. So now I'm going to talk about meeting everybody. Okay. First, I met my sister. She was at the airport. Silvio Rossi in Asunción. You know, it was one of those movie moments, man. It really was. Like, she cried, she bawled her eyes out. I personally, I don't think I did. Believe me, I fucking felt it. But I just, like, man, I can't just, like, be bawling my eyes out as a man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, man, we're men. We can't show our emotions. Fuck that shit. Especially my back then, bro. I was a man's man. You know what I mean? Nah, bro. I mean, y'all know what I mean. Like, you ain't allowed to show weaknesses in this fucking world, bro, as a man. Like, I mean, if you were really around loved ones and stuff, and maybe you got a really good partner and all that, but even then, there's moments where you just shouldn't, bro. Because that shit can come back and fucking, like, you know. Anyways, I'll get off my toxic high horse with that shit. Nowadays, I'm better about that stuff. Like, showing my emotions, getting my truth out there in a healthy way, you know. And mostly, like, living life, but then talking about it later and, like, reanalyzing it, which is exactly what I do on this channel, too. Right? And reflecting so you can move ahead in a positive, more healthy way. So, back to that movie moment with my sister, you know, it was a hell of a thing, dude. Just, like, embracing somebody who looks exactly like me in, like, facial characteristics. Just, like, I don't even know, man. It was just like the energy of just like one fucking soul lost and another fucking soul lost, and then just like coming together. And okay, yeah. So that moment was wonderful, and I didn't actually meet her kids yet until we went back to the crib. So I was just talking to her, and I think maybe her friend picked me up. But anyways, it was, you know, the whole moment was like about me and my sister reconnecting. She ends up telling me later that for about 5 years, even before her kids were born, or maybe like 6-7 years, sometime when she was a teenager, right? It would have been actually like 10 years ago for that point for her. She always had a feeling that she was waiting for somebody, okay? And like a deep-seated, like, and she always thought it was gonna be her ex-boyfriend coming back into her life, or like some man that she already knew coming back into her life, maybe her biological father, who she actually did meet years later in her life too. So she was waiting for somebody. I always knew too that I had a sister. I'm gonna tell you about 3 dreams of mine, right, that I had growing up. Number 1, very simple dream. My mom, my biological mother, came and visited me. I want to say when I was a young kid, elementary years, maybe middle school. I think elementary years. And she visited me, and she basically told me that she was alive and well. Okay. All right. I didn't get much from that dream. From that, I was a young kid. I didn't think about it too much until later. And then I also had a dreams of where I was playing with somebody who looked like me, right? And I've had several dreams like this. And it was a girl, but it wasn't my siblings in the States. Because every single one of these dreams, it would be gibberish, which later would be Spanish, you know what I mean? Interpreting that later. But I always knew that there is an individual somewhere in the world that I was like linked to in this other way. I don't know. You guys who know more about this stuff, comment in. But I knew that somebody on this planet, a girl, I don't know why, but it was like, she was like, you know, we were meant to meet, right? That ends up being my sister, right? I had no doubt about it. Those dreams started to make fucking sense. You know what I mean? All these years later. Now, the last dream I had, which isn't really part of this story, And I'm kind of jumping to later parts. But the last dream I had, slash, I don't want to say it's a premonition or whatever, but like a real dream with real individuals, was when what I believe to be my biological father, he came to me in a dream, I want to say 7 years ago at this point, mid 20s. Yeah, like 6, 7 years ago. And he came to me in a dream. He sat down next to me on the beach, and he just like, I was going through some fucked up shit at that time, you know what I mean? Like suicide, like attempt, like fucked up shit, alcoholism to the max, like nah, bro. Dark ass times for me. And get like, you know what I mean? But like you know, he visited me and he said like va a estar bien, mijo. Todo va a estar bien. Like everything's gonna be alright, son. You know what I mean? Like he like hugged me, and then we just sat there, which for a dream, you don't just like really sit somewhere with somebody. But this was like good long moments sitting on the beach overlooking, and it wasn't like I don't think it was like an ocean beach. What I interpreted as is being alone on the beach in San Bernardino here in Paraguay, overlooking to the sunset. And before actually how that dream started was I was walking on the dock, right, and I saw this man who looked exactly like me, just an older version. And I started walking on the dock towards the beach. I take a seat next to him, and then that's when he said, like, basically tells me it's gonna be all right, and you're my son, etc. Now he's never came into to me in a dream since, but that was my interpretation of him either not being well, unfortunately, or maybe even passing away. I don't know. I can't confirm this. Again, this is all dreams and feelings, but like those who believe in this stuff, y'all know what I mean. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So that's the unfortunate part of my biological father. Now you're gonna ask, why couldn't you meet your biological father in real life? Well, that's something that my biological mother has kept from me. And now I'm gonna get into that story, okay? And like why. So I'm gonna give you why I can't see her, and we're gonna build up to that, right? I have not seen my biological mother in person. I want to say for, I think 10 years, or maybe even since the first trip. I think it might have even been since the first trip. Now, before I get into the story, I do want to say that I've made the attempt to, okay? I'm not just this like fucking monster of a kid who never wanted to see or figure out or compartir, what that means, like share with, and the meaning of that, like share time with, you know what I mean? But with her, right? So what's her story? Okay. So when I was getting established, meeting my sister, and then I actually met my niece and nephew the very next day. Young kids, man, they were just like had full of fucking energy. I brought like presents down for them. Like the morning that they wake up, we all wake up. My cute little 5-year-old niece is just like showing me adorable little pictures of like fucking animals she's learning in kindergarten and Guarani, and she's saying in Spanish, and she's like mira 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 mira, like, you know, it's like, you know, just the cutest little fucking kid ever. My nephew, just like a few years older than her, he's like just very interested in everything that I'm doing and stuff, and he wants to show me his video games, and you know what I mean. It's just like, bro, it's just bliss, you know what I mean? Like, I'm finally with family. I'm finally with fucking family. Like, I didn't even know that they existed not till 9 months earlier when I was 20 years old. 21, I come down. I'm already taking action. I'm meeting them, right? I know it's getting kind of dark here, you guys. Nah, who the fuck cares, right? You guys can hear me. That's all that matters. But yeah, man, moments of absolute bliss. I'll never forget those first moments when I know that niece and nephew, because like my heart just changed, dude. Like I immediately felt like, okay, these are my kids. Like I have responsibility for these kids, and I'm not the technical godfather, but I pretty much took over all godfather responsibilities off the bat from that moment on all the way till now. Like, you know, I've never went to the church and did all the like that stuff, but nah, bro, I'm pretty much the godfather for those children. And now my niece is gonna turn 17 soon, and my nephew gonna turn 19 soon. No, 20 soon. So yeah, they're much older. They're doing well in life. Like for my part, because is that I'll just keep it 100. Like their dad is not a very good person, and he did some things I won't mention in detail and stuff, like but anyways, the family had to split apart because of his misbehaviors, right? And it was serious shit. It wasn't no thing from my sister, like, oh, I'm just bored with my partner now, so I'm just gonna no, it was some fucked up shit going on, man. And like to this day, I can't see that man. Because like, man, I'm a big guy, bro, and I had some anger issues in the past, man, and like some of that shit resurfaces when I see that motherfucker, dude. So like, I can't even see him, man. Like would I have the ability to knock somebody out on the spot? Yeah, and you'd probably be one of the top people. Now he's their father, so I won't do that shit. You know what I mean? But like, but there's just like there's some stuff that went down over the years, that I just don't play with. Anyway, so they're good in life, right? Like you saying, we're gonna come up to my mother, yeah. So that was the blissful part, right? And then meeting aunts and uncles and cousins and shit, that was all pretty relatively blissful. There's nothing stressful about that. It was really cool, right? Until, now we're gonna get in the story. Until one day, I get a call, all right? And it's from a cousin I don't know about yet. They haven't told me about this person yet. Later I found out he's in and out of jail kind of thing, which at this point in life, I don't fucking judge you for that. But like, anyways, he's just a wild head, whatever, cousin, older than me by a few years at that point. He's probably mid-20s, et cetera, et cetera. And so he hits my phone, and I don't have no smartphone. I have like a dumb little track phone thing my sister gave me. So I don't know shit about shit, man. I'm just telling, like, because my sister has to go to work, and I'm staying home kind of babysitting like the kids, right? Essentially, like, not sort of, like, because they're going to school, but there's still like a lapse in time where I'll be home with them before their mom gets home, type thing. Yeah, or even their dad when they were living together when they were young kids. But I was exploring the city by myself or with my one of their cousins, actually, technically not my fam, but I consider him fam. He's a good man. Miguel, very good man. So anyways, so a cousin hits me up. He doesn't have the best track record in his life, whatever. I don't judge him for that shit, but he sets me up, and I'll tell you how. So he comes riding to the crib, right? To my sister's crib in San Luis, where she used to live, in San Lorenzo. And he's like, hey, what's up, primo? Vamos a dar una vuelta para conocernos más familia, tu tía, y let's go like do a little like round the block, which was actually ended up being super fucking far, like an hour away, type shit. To me like my mom, your aunt, right? And I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. I'm already meeting people. That's cool, for sure, right? And I'm like, okay, yeah. So he's like, okay, oh, I'm gonna pull up to the crib, like, come out. I'm like, all right, for sure. So I come out of the crib, right? And then I'm like, all right, shit, yeah, I got a couple things, whatever. I got some dollars in my pocket, whatever, money. I got my phone, I think, or it might be close to dead. I think he even died, like, whatever. So when I open the door and I get in, I immediately know who I'm sitting next to. It was my birth mother. And I've already seen pictures. I already know what she looks like. But I've gotten a lot of warnings from my brother and my sister about, like, she's not well in the head. She's not well health-wise, like physical health-wise, emotionally, very, very unstable woman, right? And like I said, so I was going to meet her, but on my time. But since they set me up this way, I was meeting her on her time, only a couple days when I'm into Paraguay, right? Very stressful shit. So I get in the car, he immediately starts driving, so I can't, like, get out or anything. And then my mom is like, she's all like, oh, hugging me, and oh, mijo, and all this fucking shit. Which I let her do, whatever. Like, like hug up on me and like crying, all that shit. And it was a very long, awkward fucking ride that way till we get to my aunt's crib. And then like they like sit me down. She sits me down. She's then I don't know. She starts talking about irrelevant shit. Then she starts talking about her life, about like her poverty situation, which for me, fine, cool. Like that's the most legitimate reason, right, to not take care of your children. Extreme poverty, right? Now, later in life, I found out that she was a very fast woman. We say a term down here, you guys, that well, actually, honestly, too many Paraguayos use this term. I think it's offensive. I think it's racist, but we call her la gitana, the gypsy, right? She lived her life that way. I ended up finding over all the years, after all the stories I hear from her siblings, from my siblings that know of her life, that like pretty much she would bounce around man to man. Hey guys, sorry about that. Got cut off here. But I'm gonna continue with that story with my mother. So, all right. Before I get started again here, as you can tell, man, this is not gonna be the prettiest story ever, right? Kind of a shitty storytelling sometimes. I go off on tangents, but sorry about that. But you know, this is mostly for like adopted kids, adopted family members who like, you just want to hear one story that like might be a little different. It might not be no fucking Disney, I don't know, ending or whatever, but it is what it is, man. Like real life is not Disney, dude. So anyway, I'm gonna pick up where I left off. So where I was leaving off is my mother essentially did not take care of any of us children, right? And all of my siblings, of what I hear, kind of hold that against her, right? And super hardcore. Because they grew up hard, man, here in Paraguay. They didn't grow up easy. My brother didn't grow up easy with my aunt. My sister did not grow up easy with growing up with my grandma. Like, there's some stories that she told me, man, that, like, I fucking had tears over. Like, when she, I am going to go off on a tangent here, but my sister told me once that, when she was, like, a 5-year-old girl, right, there's so many people under my grandma's tiny little roof, man, that, like, it was pretty much like one the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory like kind of house where it was just like beds and beds and beds, and there was no other room for anything else because everybody was just like, that was it. There's so many people, so they just all needed somewhere to sleep. So it was like, I don't know, probably 3 to 4 to a bed or some shit like that. So like, you know, my sister would tell me stories, bro, like she had to walk like in fucking waist deep water as like a fucking 5-6-year-old girl, just like having to go back to the outhouse to like use the bathroom type shit, you know. And the way I grew up in the States, like I just had to cross the fucking hallway, you know what I mean? So like I absolutely I broke down a few fucking times here, just hearing this stuff, man. And like when I kind of clown around and say, you know, like I don't know. You know, I'm from the hood, but that's because like I say that because like, you know, I carry a lot of the same, like, even though I didn't live it, like I carry a lot of that same pain, man, that like they went through, that like you know, just being abandoned in general, not having like your biological parents to like talk to, ask questions about. None of us know that shit about our dads. And hey, all right, I'm back again. Sorry, you guys got cut off again. But the last thing I was saying is none of you guys should be using the term, especially with us in our situation. Don't ever use the term half. I'm not no half brother. Ain't no half sister bullshit around here. If we come from the same mama, there ain't no half bullshit. All right. So I don't want to hear any of that fucking terminology around me. All right. Like if I'm talking about my sister, she's my sister. She's my 100% sister. You know what I mean? If I talk about my brother, for better or worse, I don't even talk to him no more. But even if we are gonna talk to him about him, he's my brother. You know what I mean? We don't do that half shit here. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck if like, you know, y'all think, yeah, well technically, well, take your technical ass bullshit away with you to the west, bro. We don't do that shit here. All right. Yeah, if I feel a certain way about that, because I hate hearing that fucking term, dude. Like, I hate hearing that shit. Ain't nobody half important. I don't love nobody half as much. You know what I mean? Like, nah, bro, take that fuckery somewhere else, bro. For real. Anyways, so back to the story time. So, yeah, so I stay there. I listen to hear my mother out. As far as I know, I'm the only kid that tells her that, hey, mamá, pues, entiendo que sufriste mucho, ¿verdad? Pero te perdono, ¿verdad? Por todo lo que pasó en tu vida y pues estoy aquí y yo te quiero mucho. Te quiero mucho. Y, y yo no te echo la culpa por nada de lo que pasó en tu vida, ¿verdad? So pretty much, like I said, like, I forgave her, like I love her, like, I know that you suffered a lot in your life and all that stuff. But because I was kind of in a kidnap type situation, I was still very uncomfortable. You know what I mean? She tried to offer me food. I didn't accept that shit. I couldn't eat a fucking thing, even if I tried. You know, but anyways, so I finally calmed like the whole situation down. I stayed there for like a half an hour to an hour. I hear my aunts and uncles' side of everything, and oh my god. And the reason she was such a, I guess let's call it a nicer term. Let's call her a nomad, right? Not a successful digital nomad, hell no. Just a nomad who like lived out of her one suitcase, right? So, all right, so yeah, that's probably that's her sad story. She never got a good grasp on life. She was, and times are hard for women, and I absolutely understand that, especially coming out of the dictatorship. I understand that completely, but there's a reason why none of her other siblings acted that way. And when they had kids, they took care of them. And not only that, so here, let me say something else too. Is I was a secret baby. So what do I mean by that? So I was dropped off not dropped off. Jesus Christ, I was I was left at the hospital, and intentionally, my mother did not tell anybody else. Eventually, I think my grandma pulled it out of her. I never got to meet my grandma. She passed before I think even just a year before I first came here. Unfortunately, rest in peace, abuela. For real. She had like 13 kids, man. My abuela, my grandmother, and we're like dozens and dozens and dozens. There's the 4 generations now since her. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a grandkid, and then there's probably gonna be fucking 5 soon, or something like that. I don't even know, man. Pretty much just like do like 20-year increments, 20-year increments. Anyways, so yeah, man, it's and okay, so why am I not speaking with my biological mother? Okay. And I'm sorry for the lights, but I don't feel like going in, man. I just don't. I'm just gonna stay here. Well, that's because of the aftermath that all happened after that. She started disrespecting me, and when I mean disrespect, like I mean like written out full fucking manifestos, text, the phone pages long, blah 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 blah, about how all of our bad blood is, how terrible of a son I am, all this like crazy shit, bro. Like psychopathic woman. I hate to talk about my own biological mother that way, but it's true. Like seriously, she like started insulting my siblings, which like really hurt hard, man. Like for no reason, you know what I mean? Insulted her own siblings, said that we've had bad blood for generations, and like she's the only fucking like saintly godlike one, and like all kinds of just nonsense ass shit. And I'm meeting these people all in real time. I'm like, no, they're all very stable, wonderful people. What the fuck are you talking about? I love my aunts and uncles, bro. Like there's one aunt who I actually consider like my mother down here, Tia Daisy, right? Like and I've told her that like pretty much you are my mother in Paraguay. You're the responsible one. Yeah, she she has her little like times and stuff. Believe me, shit like ain't nobody perfect, man. But she's most certainly like who I consider my mother to be. And like unfortunately, I had an uncle that also passed, and I kind of considered him like my dad down here, or like the closest thing I would have to like a father. He was the uncle of my primo Ivan and Ariel. He was not a perfect man either, not even close, but he helped me with a lot of shit my first years down here, man. He explained a lot of stuff, helped me, like, saw me just break down in fucking tears and shit, and, like, just the information I was finding out and stuff. Find out we have another sister that's gonna be impossible, that maybe even I have a fucking twin. I don't think so, though. I've never felt that. I think, I know if I wasn't actually a twin, I would definitely have felt that shit from forever. You know what I mean? And I'm like, bro, I mean, you know how many fucking secrets there are? I was like, wait, what? I could have a twin? Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, wait, what? We have another sister? Wait, are you kidding me? We could have even more? So, like, oh, and this is another thing. So my mother refuses to let us know true names, true birth dates, any information that we could possibly use to try to find them. She just, for some reason, she does not want us to be linked together. In some reason in her mind, she thinks that we're gonna like come together and like, I don't know, go against her. It's like, well, nobody. I mean, what? How would we even go against you? Like, nobody even talks to you. What are you talking about? You know, which is extremely frustrating. And like, that was actually one of the last conversation I had with her in person. It's like, hey, can you please tell me our biological sister's name, the younger one, the one that we don't know, so I can find her. Make sure she's fine in life, at least. You know what I mean? Like, shit, I ain't gonna have no baby sister out here just fucking starving, bro. Like, I'm not saying she's in that position or not. Fuck, she could be adopted just like I am. I don't know. I have no fucking idea. But, if I would have known, I would have searched for her, especially 12 years ago. Now, I don't think I can do it, man. Like, well, I know I can do it, but just like, I need more time with that, bro. I need to get my life established before I do anything more like emotional like that. For real. Family stuff goes very deep down here, man. It's like all the secrets and all the crazy shit, even like through the day, bro. It's just like, man, dude. So, secrets, right? And in fact, we're a nation of secret babies, dude. My sister in the States, right? My sister in the States, who's also adopted from here, not my blood, okay? My sister in the States, who's also adopted from here. My uncle helped me search for her family, and she was also a secret baby, right? And it could be for many different reasons. You're a secret baby. It could be because, in my case, I had like a kind of a crazy mother who would just have babies randomly and then leave them, right? Or it could be a woman was unfortunately sexually violated, right? And that could be by somebody she knows or didn't know, right? And there weren't that many like progressive laws, even like 30 whatever years ago. Okay, it could be because I don't know, secret relationships. There's at one point the U.S. was like this as well. I would put that point probably in the 40s and 50s. It was like that point here in the 80s and 90s. You know what I mean? Like society when it comes to like secrets and all this shit. And I think a big thing is that like access to technology too, as well. Like you can't keep secrets these days like old people. And in fact, let me tell you one of the craziest secrets of our whole family, man. And I'll just say it, man. It ain't like it is what it is, right? But our grandfather. See, we have two grandfathers, right? We have the Aranda grandfather, my blood grandfather, and then we have the Salcedo grandfather, right? And we don't, like I said, we don't do any of that 50-50 fucking fuckery when we talk about our blood. Like, ain't nobody half a cousin to me. That's just dumb as shit, you know what I mean? Ain't nobody half a nothing to me, you know? But, yeah, so our grandfather, I believe the first one, I believe my blood, Aranda grandfather, yes, my blood grandfather, but he had a whole other family. I don't know how I put that any other way. He had an entire other family on the side, and nobody knew about that until the day he died, until his burial when my family went and another family went, and there is a random woman crying at his grave. Well, my grandmother asked, "Who the fuck is this?" Essentially, that's when the secret came out that my grandfather had a whole other family, and it was crazy, man. Their cousins were meeting cousins at that fucking moment, like. That is so insane, dude. I mean, that is insane, dude. I would figure a story like that for hundreds of years ago type shit. Not like, I mean, the funeral, that was only like 20 years ago. No, not even 20 years ago for his. So, that's crazy, bro. Just think about that. Think about being my grandmother alive and then seeing a whole nother woman crying at his funeral. Like, oh, no, he was our family too. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So we're a nation of secret babies. That's why so many of us are adopted for so many fucking reasons. And I'm not trying to, like, I'm not saying like we're an immoral peoples. Is that you guys gotta understand? Extreme poverty with extreme laws and in extreme conditions, lack to so many health knowledge, health care, and anything preventative that has to do with children. You know what I mean? So like the mix of all this stuff going on, dude, like right at the end of the dictatorship, late 80s, early 90s, before all that, like women had it hard as fuck. That's why, like, when women, like, now they, like, in the States, like, whatever fourth or fifth wave of feminism is, like, going on, like, you'll see, like, highly educated, like, blonde women. Oh my god, we're so oppressed. We're so oppressed. Oh my god. Oh my god. And I'm just like, you don't know the fucking first thing about real oppression. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, divorce was legal all the way up to the early 90s here, which I bring up in my first video. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, and abortion is still illegal completely. There ain't no like, abortion is still absolutely illegal here. And me actually coming from the U.S. being more progressive, I think it should be illegal. You know what I mean? I think it should be the decision between a woman and her doctor. I actually truly believe that. No, I don't think that fucking abortion should be illegal. Are you fucking kidding me? And especially all these motherfucking politicians who make their motherfucking, what am I trying to say? Their side pieces, right? Get abortions, right? Their mistresses. That's what we're trying to look for. Yeah, I mean, come on, man. Like, no, if you're gonna do that fuckery, no, you don't get to do that fuckery and then make it illegal for the rest of us. You know what I mean? No. That service needs to be open. And I bet you a lot of men want that shit open as well, you dumbasses, as well. For real. Oh my god, dude. And that's why there's, single motherhood down here is such a fucking epidemic. Don't get me started. I'll bring that up on another dating video. But it's like Colombia. There's like stats that just came out in Colombia. And I was like, I bet you Paraguay is not far behind. I bet you it probably even tops Colombia. Well, actually, I don't know. Maybe not. But, Colombia is a crazy mix of everything, dude. Liberalism, conservatism. We're just super highly conservative here for the most part. Yeah, man. So, okay, I know I went off on more tangents, but like the biggest reason I can't speak to my biological mother anymore is because of her insulting ways. And not only that, but like I've come back years later saying, hey, I want to try again, see if I can like help this woman in any manner that I can, at least to see that she's fucking eating and like, I don't know, whatever, Tell me why every single time I made that attempt, literally the day before I was going to go meet her, I was going to have somebody drive her to their house, she sends me just pages of just insults and I'm just like, I can't do this. This has happened too many times where literally the day before I plan on going to get drive to see you with another family member. Well, tell me why this has happened 2 fucking times now that you send me all this fuckery. You know what I mean? So like I can't deal with that toxicity, dude. I wouldn't deal with it in a romantic relationship. I wouldn't deal with it in the US, and I don't deal with it here. So that's why I have not seen the woman, my biological mother, in this many years. A lot of you guys might say, oh my God, that's harsh. That's you gotta try it. God damn it. And I'm like, no, I don't. The fuck are you? This ain't your life. This is my life. You know what I mean? So, and I apologize to all those who want to watch a clean cut video, but like this stuff is deep in me, man. I can't be clean cut when it comes to like talking about some of this stuff, because this is the realest. You know what I mean? Like I respect people, who put out the timeline there and make it very PG and stuff. But like, man, I'm gonna tell you the dark parts of society here, and I'm the product of it, you guys. I am the product of secrets, lies, harsh fucking conservatism. Jesus Christ, I still said that wrong. Like, there's ways to be like healthily conservative in society, but when it's just like, bam, no, absolutely not, no fucking abortion, no goddamn divorce, any fucking case whatsoever, hell no. No, I'm not about that. No, nope. And I'm a product of that, okay? Like, there ain't no second chance. Like I said, there wasn't no abortion back then here. There wouldn't be now either. Not like I'm obviously I'm glad to be alive and all of that. I'm not saying like I'd rather have been aborted. I'm not saying that, you guys. Jesus Christ, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that like the option never existed, and it still doesn't in 2024. And I know that America's kind of going backwards with that stuff too because of the Supreme Court, but like I ain't here to talk about that. But like, there's real world consequences of it, and like there's a lot of those babies who are the products of those kinds of laws and stuff. I'll get off my high horse with all that stuff, but okay, so that's the reason that I cannot. I love her. She knows that. I've told her, and but I can't see her in person. 12 years later, have I reconsidered again? Yes. I know literally goes against what I literally just said, but yes, I have considered it again because I am here permanently. She is getting older, just as all of us. If I'm going to be very honest, very, very honest, it sounds fucked up, but I'm surprised she's made it this far with how many health problems she's had, and physically, mentally, and all that. I don't wish any ill will on her. I never fucking did, and I always wanted to see her well. But and you guys, you adopted kids who do this stuff, whether it's 20, you're watching this shit from 20 years from now, right? And you're gonna do this stuff. There's gonna be toxic moments. There's gonna be harsh moments, and you as an individual, you have to decide. You have to decide: do I put up with this shit or not? Is it worth bringing toxicity in my life? Yes. Did I want it to be some fucking Disney story? Did I want it to be just because she was poor? Did I want her to be a completely healthy woman now and not toxic and not insult me and not do all this? Yes, that's what I desired. I desired normalcy. She didn't have to be perfect, but at least not like evil and mean to your fucking only your children. You know what I mean? Like I said, man, I love her, but like for those who are gonna, and maybe you're not adopted, maybe it's like, I don't know, you just, for whatever reason, like you never met your father, mother, whoever, brother, sister, whoever. If you find out that those people are gonna bring you pain in life, you can't do it, man. You can't do it, ladies and gentlemen. Like, I mean, you can keep them around. You can keep the toxic family members you got in your life around now. But, I mean, to what benefit? And believe me, I have a lot of patience. Believe me, I have a lot of patience, man. Like, but there's certain things, man, you just can't deal with, like, and certain people that you are gonna need to cut off in your life. For I'm not gonna get into this because he is my generation, but I will say that, like, I had a falling out with my biological brother here too, as well. I'm not gonna get into the reasons because that's like where it's too much, is too fresh, and like maybe there might be a point where I can talk to him again, but it's just not right now. I love him too. He knows that. Love his kid, love my nephew. I wanted to see him more, but I just wanted respect, and there was a lack of respect. That's all getting to that situation. Um, so, so yeah, man. But okay, so the mom stuff was disappointing, right? So how do I feel about it now? I kind of just told you, but like, hey, go, dale. Touch. It just is what it is now, and like I'm focusing on my own life. I'm focusing on like building myself up. I'm focusing on damn, it really got dark. Holy shit. Yeah, I'm focusing on building my career because I have to, man. Because it's not, pretty much when I had the falling out with my mother, I was just like, okay, well now it's just like the next generation. I can't even worry. I shouldn't even worry about this generation unless it affects the next generation, to be completely honest. But I'm all about where do we kill generational curses, right? And a lot of you folks back home, or like in your Western countries, may have this because your family were the enslaved originally. All of us in Paraguay have a small amount of African blood as well. You wouldn't know it on looking at us, but we actually do. Like me and myself, I have like 3%, right? A lot of you guys will be like, yeah, it's just 8%. No, but like, believe me, all of our blood is important, right? All of our ancestry is important. We are part of the enslaved Africans. We are part of the enslaved natives, or highly abused and all the genocide that we are a product of that. We are a product of all the immigration. We are a product of everything down here, being mestizo and everything else. But like, even in recent years, like what we are recently from our parents and whatnot, what we are and whatnot, you got to focus on that, but then you got to focus on the new generation. It's not always going to be about you. It's not always going to be about our generation. It's about the next. And the way I like to think about it is the way that many North American tribes think about generations and your responsibility to those after you. And they go by the 7 generations rule, right? I am responsible right now for not having my family get into poverty, and I've taken this very seriously, for real, for the last 12 years, and especially the last fucking 5-6 years. Very seriously, I've taken this. You do not let your family continue a cycle of poverty, or misery, or lack of opportunities. You do everything in your fucking humanly power to make sure that they get ahead. And then they will be responsible for the next 7 generations after them, right? And that's just how it works, right? I love that philosophy. Many Native American tribes up in North America believe that. I don't know about us, Guarani. I don't know, like, if we have something similar, to be completely honest, but it doesn't matter. I'll adopt things from other tribes for sure. You know what I mean? We ain't separated by no borders made, 500 years ago? No. We're natives who have been here for thousands of years. Tens of thousands, even in some cases. And you know what I mean? So, we are natives to these lands. Maybe not all of us are full native, etc. Like me, I'm like half, whatever. But that ideology is very important. You have to make sure you're taking care of Mother Earth. You have to take care. Make sure you're taking care of your. Sorry, I got cut off again. Jesus Christ. So, last thing I'll say, finish that thought. So, make sure you're taking care of Mother Earth, yourself, and the next generations. That's your responsibility. That's my responsibility. And I've already, honestly, in many ways, already completed those goals for myself, for my immediate family. So now it's my turn to have family. You know what I mean? But nah, man. Like, if y'all know, y'all know. Before you even had kids, before you even had the opportunity to have kids, you had responsibility. Maybe back home for whatever reason, man. For whatever reason, you were put on this earth to put on your motherfucking boots and bootstraps and motherfucking take care of those who had it worse than you. You know what I mean? Some of you had the responsibility. Some of you took it seriously, just like I did, and good for you. You are, y'all are. I mean, y'all are incredibly important to the way this world spins, right? All right, you guys. I won't be too philosophical, but I do want to give you guys a story. Hopefully, you guys can relate. Maybe you're adopted, maybe you're foster kid, etc., orphan, whatever. But maybe you relate to this. Maybe you don't. Maybe you just want another story. I know this is very, very different from the rest of my travel content stuff that's going to be coming up. I wanted you guys to get to know me a little bit better, see the real me, see the real complexities of why I look at the way the world and why it is, and like why I feel certain ways about certain things, about why I don't talk about certain family members, about why I do, about why I'm cool with some people and not cool with others, etc., etc. I'm a very complex person, you guys. But lastly, I'll just give a message to the kids who want to do what I did, reunite with family. Take it slow, take one step at a time. Try to stay away from the family drama as much as humanly possible, which means that you may even not want to continue, like I did, certain relationships with, got cut off, and not continue those relationships if you know that they are toxic. Okay. Otherwise, besides that, man, focus on yourself, focus on your own dreams, live your own motherfucking life. That's why this is called My Best Life. It's not no best life for nobody else but your own. Join the My Best Life gang. I'm just playing. Don't be joining no gangs, y'all. Jesus Christ. But no, for real though, try to live your best life. Hey, maybe you fall in love with the country you're from, or you want to go somewhere in life. This applies to all of you. I'm out, you guys. It's late. I gotta put all these clips together because my fucking phone can't just record one video. God damn it. Love you guys. Subscribe to the channel. Hopefully you like this. Hopefully not. Hopefully comment in for real on this video in particular, because I'll give responses, or email me personal stuff. You already know my best life, PARQUE@gmail.com. Write it on the. I'm out. All love. Take care of you guys. See you later, PARQUE PINAR. It's been the realest. Been the realest up in this penthouse. And a pool and all that, man. I didn't really get a chance. Unfortunately, today would have been an excellent day. It's hot as hell out. But yeah, this place was pretty dope, man. Minus the location. I could still see it being worth the location though. But yeah, sorry I didn't do a walkthrough of this place, but I'll put photos on the screen of what this place was. So I'm getting ready to go to my next move here in San Lorenzo, and there I have a duplex. I think I've said a couple times on the channel, and yeah, that's the plan. All right, you guys, my Uber's here, but man, it's been the realest here in Paraguay for 30 days, man, and now it's time for me to get on my more permanent life. All right, y'all, peace.